Hey guys, this is Kevin from JazTime.com, and today we'll be doing a comparison between the Rolex Submariner on my left, reference number 116610, versus the Rolex Milgauss here on my right, reference number 116400 GV. We'll be going over the price, the dials, bezel, case, crown, bracelet, clasp, and we'll talk about the movement towards the end of the video. Okay, so as of June 2017, you can get this Rolex Submariner at an authorized Rolex retailer for $8,550, or you can get it at JazTime.com for as low as $7,800. For the Milgauss, you can get this at an authorized Rolex retailer for $8,200, or you can get it at JazTime.com for $6,450. Alright, so let's go ahead and jump right into the dials now. So for the dials, we have both the dial colors in a black. The only other configurations that these colors come in is for the Submariner. We have the anniversary edition, which is called the Hulk, where it has a green dial and green bezel. Otherwise, it's just the black on black. For the Milgauss, we have the black dial. One thing I want to mention is the Sapphire Crystal. Is you can see a sort of the outline of that green. We have that one also in a blue dial with that green Sapphire Crystal. Otherwise, you're going to be looking at a clear sapphire crystal such as the Submariner. And the green sapphire crystal is specific to the Milgauss. Okay, for the hour markers, we have the maxi dial style hour markers for the Submariner, which are 30% larger hour markers than the normal Rolex dial. And that's indicated by the circular hour markers with the index at the 6, 9, and 12 o'clock position. The 12 o'clock position being a triangle. And that these hour markers and the Mercedes hour hand with the minute hand, they are all luminescent for up to they are all luminescent with a blue luminescence. For the Milgauss, we have index stick markers. As you can see that the stick markers are a little bit smaller than the index sticks on the Submariner, except for the 3, 6, and 9, which are orange accented. And there's a reason behind the orange accents. The white colored stick dials versus the orange accented stick dials, the white will glow green in luminescence, while the orange accented Milgauss, orange accented hour markers will glow blue. So it's a mixture of the blue and green glow in the dark. Alright. Besides that, text is plain white for the Submariner, where the Milgauss has a orange, its name in the orange at the 12 o'clock position. For the seconds hand, it's indicated by this unique orange thunderbolt that can only be found on the Milgauss and no other Rolex watches. For the Submariner, we only have this simple stick with a small circular indentation for luminescence for the seconds hand. Alright, so let's go ahead and move on to the bezel, or actually before we move on to the bezel, I want to mention that the date on the Submariner is located at the 3 o'clock position. It has a Cyclops lens on top of that sapphire crystal for magnification and easier viewing of that date. And the Milgauss does not come with a date at the 3 o'clock position, and there's actually a reason. There's actually reasoning behind that. It's because Rolex wanted to develop a watch that was entirely resistant to magnetic forces, so they didn't leave that open date aperture for the dial, so it's a closed dial. Alright, so let's go ahead and move on to the bezel now. For the bezel, the Submariner, we have a ceramic black Cerachrome bezel, which means that the color from the ceramic, the black ceramic, will always stay that black color and look very beautiful. Has a nice shine to it. We have the 60 minute graduated cycle around the bezel, and each index marker and the numbers are platinum dusted. Okay. Whereas the Milgauss, we just have a very simple high polished dome bezel. Okay, so for the Submariner, I just want to go over this very quickly here. The Submariner's bezel is actually adjustable. It is a unidirectional bezel, so it only moves one way, and that's to the left. And the use of the bezel is to track elapsed times. This is a diver's watch, a sports watch. So if a diver wanted to track how much elapsed time they've been underwater, they just have to simply move that peridot to across the minute hand, and you can track how many minutes have gone by. The reason why it's unidirectional as opposed to a watch like Yachtmaster, which bidirectional can move both ways, is that if they were to track the oxygen levels on their tank, they don't want to accidentally bump into it and it moves the other way, and then they have more oxygen than they're expecting. Okay, and while that is for a the diver's watch purpose, it can also be used for daily activities such as tracking how fast you run a mile or how long that business meeting is taking. Okay, let's go ahead and adjust that back to the top. So for the case sizes now, these are actually both the same size watch, the same size case size, which is the 40mm case, and that's from my index finger to my thumb here. And that's for both watches. For the side profiles of the watch, you're looking at a beautiful high polished sides, patterning very nicely with the bracelet, and there you are. The Milgauss does have a little bit larger case than the Submariner, and the reasoning behind that is because the case for the Milgauss has two cases. The two cases, one of them being the magnetic shield casing, that houses the movement and provides additional magnetic resistance, as Rolex was trying to make they were trying to make a very magnetic resistant watch. Okay, for the crown side, very simple crowns with the Rolex crown on the crown. For the frontal view of that, one thing to notice is that because the Submariner is a sports watch, we have crown guards to protect the crown, where the Milgauss is more of a hybrid of a sports and dress watch, and we have no crown guards to protect that crown. I just want to go over the simple functions of the crown with the Submariner really quickly here. So they're both screw down twin lock double waterproofness systems, and they unscrew counterclockwise, as shown. This is the hand winding position in which you can wind the watch. A simple tug will let you adjust the date instantaneously, as shown. And a final tug will actually stop the seconds hand or the hack movement for allowing for precise time setting. And then you can set the hands bidirectionally as well. Always make sure screw the crown nice and tight back against the case, as that keeps this watch water resistant for up to 300 meters, or rather 300 meters or 1,000 feet, and that's for the Submariner. The Milgauss has the same functions of that crown, same type of crown. It just doesn't have that date setting aperture, because obviously it doesn't have a date. So you can either widen the watch or set the hands. And the water resistance of the Milgauss is 100 feet, or rather 100 meters or 330 feet. Okay, moving on to the bracelets now. For bracelets, they both have the same style bracelet in terms, they're called the Oyster style bracelet, which is a 3-piece link bracelet. However, the style of the bracelets for the Submariner, you have a satin finish on each link, so you see that nice brushed steel polish all the way throughout. Whereas the Milgauss, as I mentioned before, it's more of a dressier hybrid of a sports watch. You have the high polish running down, patterning very nicely from that high polished bezel all the way down through the bracelet center links, and then it's finished off with that contrast of the satin finish on each side of the link. For the clasp, the Submariner has a larger clasp, and the Milgauss obviously has a smaller clasp. And the reasoning for that is because of the hidden clasp functions, and we'll get to that right now. As you can see, for the Submariner, we have the safety folding oyster, which is this little hinge here is a safety, and pops out, which is the folding oyster. It has the Rolex name embossed on the clasp blade, whereas the Milgauss just simply is the folding with the Rolex name embossed on that clasp blade as well. So what do I mean by hidden functions? Well, let me go ahead and show you on the Milgauss first. So for the Milgauss, behind the clasp, you can see these little pins here. You can actually see these little pins behind the clasp, and you can adjust the clasp 5mm increments forward or backwards by having a special tool that pull these pins downwards, and you can adjust it to a little indentation in the clasp behind the clasp. Once again, that's just to adjust it 5 millimeters forward or backwards, and that's to give your wrist a little more breathing space. It's a little bit of a hassle to have a tool, having to carry a tool around just to adjust the bracelet for a little more comfort. Whereas the Submariner has what we call the updated glide lock extension link, which I'll show you now. So you see these little rivets here. You can actually adjust the bracelet in 2 millimeter increments for up to 20 millimeters. And all you have to do is simply pop out the bracelet, slide it forward or slide it to wherever you need, and snap it back on. Now you have that extended link. Very simple, very easy to use. And you can also do it the same backwards. And there you go. And it's a very nice feature to have. So let's just say you want to pass the Submariner down to your son or a friend. You don't have to take it to a jeweler to get it. You don't have to take it to a jeweler to get a link removed or put on just to have that watch fit perfectly for your, for the person you want to pass it on to. So that's something to keep in mind in terms of against the Milgauss, where you have to carry around a tool just to adjust that, the bracelet for to make it a little tighter, a little bit looser, just to have a little more comfort. Okay, so let's go ahead and move on to the movements now. So for the movements, they're housed for the Submariner. We'll start off with the Submariner first. It's housed in a simple oyster case back. It is a perpetual mechanical self-winding movement. It's Rolex's caliber 3135 in-house made movement. It is COSC certified as a precision of -2 + 2 seconds a day. It has a simple functions of a center, hour, minute, seconds hand with the instantaneous changing of the date and the stopping in the seconds hand for precise time setting, as I've shown you. The power reserve is approximately 48 hours. And one additional thing I want to mention is that it does have, for the oscillator, it does have a paramagnetic blue parachrome hairspring, which offers magnetic resistance. Okay. And that's being compared to the Milgauss, which has a 3131 in-house made movement. It's upgraded from the 3130 movement. It is a perpetual mechanical self-winding movement, and it's housed in a double casing. It's first cased in a magnetic shield and then housed in the oyster casing. It has a precision of -2 + 2 seconds a day. It's also COSC certified. So simple functions of just the center, hour, minutes, and seconds hand with stopping the seconds hand for precise time setting. Once again, the oscillator is a paramagnetic blue parachrome hairspring, which offers additional magnetic resistance. And the power reserve is 48 hours for both, or for this watch as well. So 40 hours of power reserve for both watches, meaning you can put either watches down on a Friday evening, pick it back up on a Sunday evening, and it'll be keeping time just fine. Okay, so let me go ahead and show you these watches on the wrist now. So once again, with the Submariner, pop open that safety. There's the folding oyster. Okay. Snap, snap. There we go. So always beautiful, just a very simple classic watch. Not too high on the profile, will fit under suit cuffs, dress cuffs very nicely. And let me go ahead and show you that on the Milgauss now. Okay, and bam. There we are. There's the Milgauss. Very beautiful watch. It's very unique in the Rolex line, as you don't really have that thunderbolt hand, that really difference in colors from the green sapphire crystal, the orange accents. It's overall very beautiful, with that high polish bringing definitely more shine to the watch. Okay, so if you're interested in either watches, check out our website at JazTime.com, where the lowest price is guaranteed. We offer free shipping and a 1-year warranty. And if you liked the video, please like, comment, and subscribe below. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you guys soon.